Want to know why? Ask how. Howard, the humongous! And there's a helicopter. Are we going to continue over the helicopter? We might as well continue over the helicopter. They did in Vietnam, didn't they? Okay, here's the deal. I do a lot of stuff about militant Islam, right? I sound really raunchily, randily, outrageously, acidically prejudiced against Muslims. The fact is, there's a significant part of the Muslim population who are modernist, pluralist, and tolerant. No one can tell exactly how significant because it doesn't show up in polls. What does show up in polls is that about 14% of the Muslim population believes that it's thoroughly justified. This is in a Pew survey that was just done recently, that it's thoroughly justified to use violence against civilians. Now, if that's the case, because there are 1.8 billion Muslims, according to Muslim demographers, that would be 234 million Islamic extremists. 234 million Islamic extremists is more than the population of France, England, and Germany, the three countries that brought us World War I and World War II combined. That's a lot of people. That's certainly more people, enough people to be really, really worried about. But one of the groups of people who is really, really worried about them, more worried than you or I, are Muslims. Why? Because there is a small group of Muslims, we can't tell how large or how small, that is modernist, pluralist, and tolerant. They like to live, think, and enjoy life the same way that you and I live, think, and enjoy life. And who are their greatest threats in life? Are they American imperialist troops dropping bombs, napalm perhaps? Are they any sort of Western crusaders? No, they're their fellow Muslims. Those Islamic extremists that we're talking about, those Islamic extremists target them first. You know, I wrote a book called The Muhammad Code, and it has a terribly impolite subtitle. The subtitle is Why a Desert Prophet Wants You Dead. And you would think that Muslims would hate that book far more than anybody else on planet Earth. After all, Muhammad is their prophet. But the fact is, the people who respond to the substance of that book with the greatest enthusiasm are Muslims. Why? Because it bells the cat. Because it identifies the extremists. Because it identifies the philosophies behind the extremists. And the extremists are people who, if my Muslim, tolerant, pluralist, modernist friends spoke up on a regular basis, would literally slit their throats. In Nigeria, in the last 24 hours, in the last actually 5 days, there have been a series of attacks. Entire villages have been slaughtered in the middle of the night. And within the last 24 hours, an agricultural college was attacked in the middle of the night. And approximately 40 people were killed in their sleep. That's what the Islamic extremists do to people who cross the line and dare be modernists, pluralists, and tolerant. And yet, the modernist, pluralist, tolerant Muslims are some of the finest people you will ever meet on planet Earth. And they deserve your support and mine. And what is one of the best ways to support them? Help them bell the cat. Help them identify the crazies among them. Because those crazies want to exterminate the modernist, pluralist, and tolerant Islams from the face of planet Earth, and in the process, get rid of unbelievers, which means exterminating you and me. This is Howard the Humongous, speaking to you from the future, that it's your job and my job to make, and it is a serious, serious business.